Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Roma Theory. I am back from my adventure, and the first thing which I want to do is apologize because I was supposed to go live at 3:30 my time. It's currently 6 p.m. my time. Sad reality is I fell asleep. That's how tired I am. Then in the past 5 days, I don't remember sleeping well once. In fact, I don't remember sleeping once. So yeah, I'm unnecessarily tired. But we're back here in Rome. We lost the Europa League final in the worst way possible because, as a football fan, as a fan of a team which plays in a European final, the biggest nightmare is losing with a penalty shootout because penalties are not football. Penalties is irrelevant from football. Penalties is all about that. Penalties is all about dealing with pressure. Penalties are all about handling pressure while kicking a ball, and it's not football, and it does hurt. It's very, very sad because I hate losing finals like this. It's definitely a scar. It's definitely something which it's definitely something that haunts us for the next couple of seasons. It's definitely an image which will haunt us on Sunday when we play against Spezia in our last game of the season. It's definitely an image which will haunt us and has scarred all of us Roma fans. It's definitely something which is not fixed in there. And it's a bad image, but it's fixed in there, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, I've said it. If you follow me on Instagram, I've put posts out there. In sports, you lose and you win. You win and you lose. Congratulations to Sevilla winning the Europa League. This is what sports is like. Nobody can ever just win. You win one year, you lose one year, and that's kind of the philosophy of sports and why sports is the best thing out there. But yeah, I think this will definitely act as a learning lesson, not just for the players, but for the fans as well. You know, being a fan of this team means going through these moments. Now, obviously, there was the famous one where Roma lost on penalties in the Champions League when it was called I believe the Coppa dei Campioni against Liverpool in Rome, and then a few years later we basically have the same outcome from a Europa League final, losing on penalties, and it's just something which it really just makes you want to go, oh my god. But we do have to move on. I think that the important thing here is that it's the start of a new beginning. It's the start of a new beginning where there will, without a doubt, be a revolution taking place. It's a revolution because we don't have Champions League football, and therefore we need to sell. It's a revolution because we have to keep and restart from some players. It's a revolution because we have to hopefully restart from Mourinho and from what Mourinho said to the team after the penalty shootout. That is the image where this badge needs to move on and move towards. Mourinho telling his players, I will be here for you next year. Mourinho hugging Dybala, who was the one who cried the most out of the whole lot, is where we have to restart. Because you win finals and you lose finals. That's the way it is. I think, just like everything, right? When you win something, you went through failures. And I am convinced when I say this, that in a few years we will look back at this deep, dark moment, because I ain't gonna lie, it is a very dark and deep and terrible moment. If you are a Roma fan, which has waited so long for this moment to happen, and then this dream vanishing away because of a penalty shootout, it's terrible. And when I say that this will forever be our nightmare, it really will is. But also, this will be your starting point. And in a few years, when we will celebrate things, we will look back at this and go, I won. A few years ago, I lost a penalty shootout in a final. And listen carefully here. Listen very carefully here. Don't say you support this team if you don't support it in these moments. If you abandon this team now, don't you dare support when this team wins something. That's the most important thing to understand after losing a final. Don't abandon this team now, because if you do, well then don't celebrate when we celebrate things. Right, moving on. I do want to talk about the refereeing, because I don't like blaming referees. I don't like shoving the responsibility to the referees. Because in sports, you win and you lose. And I also don't like how my team has evolved in a way that referees hate. Because this team, my team, is being targeted. The amounts of points my team has lost in the league this season because of referees, at least 15 points. That way my team lost a European final because of that bold twat. I'm sorry, I will accept the win, I will accept the defeat, I will not accept a defeat like this. I will never accept a defeat like this. Because if you don't say this is a robbery, and if there are Lazio fans watching this, if you dare to say this wasn't a robbery, then get your TV away from your home and maybe buy a new one, because that wasn't working. This was an utter robbery. And look, no. Before saying, oh no, it's not a robbery, stop complaining because you lost. This is a robbery. I don't like going against referees, and I never go against referees. In fact, I always say how my team has to stop going towards referees because it will have consequences in the future. Well, this time, I could not care less, kiss my balls. Because this has been a robbery. And to be fair, losing a final like this, having your dream blowing away like this, is something which will never get away from my body, from my mind, from my psychological way. It won't. Because if Sevilla would have beat me 3-0, I would have gone, fair play. Sevilla were the better team. Sevilla were not the better team. And the fact that they won with penalties suggests that. And that game should have never ended in penalties. Never ended in penalties. Because what happened to that hand? What happened to that handball? That's not a handball, is it? Don't say the Premier League uses different measures of refereeing calls, because that is a clear handball in every fucking tournament you play. If you play in the Italian league, or in the British league, or in the Spanish league, or in the German league, or in the South Korean league, that is a clear handball. And the thing which makes me the most irritated is not the fact that the referee didn't blow that. Because if you're a referee, refereeing a European final, you are put under immense pressure. And something might, you might lose something. And that's not what I'm blaming. Because referees are humans just like the players. They make mistakes. What I will blame, however, is that after spending billions of money to establish VAR in every stadium, you don't even go check it. You don't even go fucking check it. That is what irritates me. Because go check it. Go check it. Maybe it's not a penalty, but at least go check it. And I am fuming, and you can probably tell I'm fuming, because my dream has been crushed by the referees. By a clear handball, which has not been given. Clear red cards, which have not been given. And look, we could have missed that penalty. I'm not saying we would have won if they gave us that penalty. But give us that penalty, and then we'll see what happens. And then another thing which I will say, linking to this referee thing, is very, very simple. Spanish teams have to stop this. There is a clear pattern going on with Spanish teams having the superiority of other teams. We've seen it with Juventus against Real Madrid in the Champions League a few years ago. We've seen it with Barcelona playing Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in that ridiculous game a few years ago. We've seen it yesterday, 2 days ago, in the Europa League, Sevilla against Roma. What is happening with Spanish teams? Explain this, because if this doesn't get explained, then everybody has the power to say that UEFA is mafia. Explain what is happening between Spanish teams and UEFA. Explain what's going on with Spanish teams in UEFA, and then we'll have a discussion. It's not the first time that these puta fia de puta madre, puta chinga tu madre. Fucking hell. Losing a final because of a referee. Fuck off. Other than that, were you one of the ones attacking? Absolutely not. And that is what I recriminate. That is not how you behave. Referees are human as well, and that was a ridiculous, terrible scene. You can't do that. The guy's a human being as well. But inside the football pitch, inside the rectangular grass field, the referee has to be blamed as much as we want. Outside of that stadium, the referee can't be touched because he's got a living right too. You can't do that. He's not a puppet. He's a human being. But inside that football pitch, the referee has all the responsibility of getting criticized. And as Jose said, it's a fucking disgrace, man. It's a fucking disgrace, man. No, but look, linking to this thing about referees and Roma, as much as we did get robbed in this game, and I hope everybody agrees. I hope everybody agrees in this. You got 120 minutes and you couldn't give another goal to win, blaming the referee. Kiss my balls. Kiss my balls, man. Kiss my balls. Kiss my balls. Kiss my fucking balls. Is that as much as we did get robbed, we have to stop all of this referee banter because it's unacceptable. And look, I don't want to start a new season. Knowing that the referees will get at least 15 points away from us. Because if I know that, then I will never be able to dream. This has to stop. The referee being against Roma has to stop. But look, we have to be partial here. We have to be neutral here. So does us going against referees has to stop. So does that have to stop. Referees have been against us, but we've been against referees. And this has been a conflict which this season has cost us too many points, including a European final. So what I want to do is sit down with the referee, with Jose, which is the most important figure in this. What has to be done is there has to be a meeting between the general director of referees, Mourinho, and the Fredkins, where they discuss about rules and how we behave. And that's what we have to do, because the referees have targeted us. It's not possible the referees have not targeted us, because we've lost too many points because of referees this season. So, with that being said, I don't want to enter a new season knowing that referees will cost us 15 points. Because if we lose 15 points because of referees, we will never be able to compete for the league, and we'll probably never even be able to compete to get in top 4. So, look, season is coming to an end. The question which everybody wants to know is obviously, is this season a failure? Is this season a success? We will get into that after the Spezia game. I think the season is not over. You know, the Spezia game sounds like a very irrelevant game, but as much as it is, and I don't think the majority of our starting players are going to start, it's also a very important game, because if we win the Europa League, And if we don't win with a lot of chances, we may be playing Conference League. And that's a big difference in that. Nobody wants Conference League. We won Conference League once. We're done with Conference League. I want to play Europa League again because this Europa League journey has been a dream. This Europa League journey has been a dream. From the first game to the last game, going to Budapest with your friends, crossing through Serbia, everything. You know, it's been a dream. And the conclusion of everything is I am so proud of these players. I'm so proud of this team. I'm so proud of these fans. I'm proud of our whole lot. We don't have Champions League next year. We don't have immense amounts of money to spend in this transfer window. And we are coming from a lost final with penalties. Life is life. C'est la vie. We can't do anything about this. You know, we can't change what has happened. We can change what will come. And on Sunday, I think it's the first step of a rehabilitation. On Sunday is the first step to getting back to normality. I agree with Mourinho. This team is not Champions League level yet. So maybe playing in the Europa League can maybe pull out more fruits. We have seen how this team has evolved in European Cups, and we've seen how this manager has changed the mentality of these players. I am not excluding the fact that we could play another Europa League final. But first we have to reach that Europa League. And the first step to getting back to normality is trying to win on Sunday. A game which is so complicated because Spezia, their safety depends on that game, and we're coming from a lost final with penalties. We're demoralised. It's a tough game. I want everybody at the stadium, if you're going there, everybody watching the game, because these players need our support, especially now, more than ever. These players deserve to be followed by us. And yeah, a few things about the game is I will say that we've lost the final because of two reasons. First reason is because we have a problem that when we score, we don't play anymore. That's the first reason why we lost the final. Because we scored a goal, we played a great first half, but then we were inexistent in the second half. We had a few chances, yes, but Sevilla dominated us in the second half. And then obviously we had a few incidents, which we're not gonna talk about because there is no need to talk about. But we have a problem. This is a base problem. When we score, we don't play anymore, and you can't do that in your Europa League final, because yeah, you just can't do that because Sevilla have got experience in this tournament. And the second reason why we've lost this is because of obviously the referees, but the third reason is because of our penalty takers. I still have to understand that list of penalty takers, because if there is one basic rule in the history of the game is to never let your centre backs take penalties, unless it's like Sergio Ramos, obviously, because he's a standard penalty taker. Centre backs, defenders tend to never take penalties, and I'm not complaining with the fact that, because look, at the end of the day, whoever misses the penalties is anybody who has the balls to take penalties. But obviously, we had players which had to shoot that penalty instead of Ibanez or Mancini. I'm looking at El Shaarawy. I'm looking at Wijnaldum, who had a terrible game and will not be. The trigger clause won't be triggered because he's not the same player. Cristiano Catapadawai. Bye. See you in the other world. Okay? Bye. I think players had to other players had to take that. Belotti, I think, had to take that. I think Belotti's a great penalty taker. Yes, he missed that penalty against Torino this season, but he's a good penalty taker. And their goalkeeper is a very good goalkeeper. At the end of the day, I'm proud of this team. The only thing which I hate is obviously the fact that we lost with penalties. We've lost the final. Yeah. But again, we have to move on. We have to move on. We have to move on. We've got an important game on Sunday, and then after that game, the season will be over, and we will all speak about. Um, we will all speak about processed normality after that game on Sunday. There will be a stream about Jose's future. There will be a stream about the plans of the future now that we're not in the Champions League. And yeah, look, it's a tough. It's tough. It's tough times. This is probably the lowest I've felt in 17 years as a Roma fan, because obviously it's probably the worst thing I've seen in 17 years as a Roma fan. But this is football. As I've said many times, you win and you lose. We've lost. Congratulations to Seville. And yeah, I will catch you very, very soon. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, click all of the things below, and I'll catch you very, very soon. Yeah. Right, let me read a few comments. Simon, how can we cheer our players? Just not abandoning them. You know, the players after that game, that was the most heartbreaking scene ever. Players coming towards the fans, crying. Dybala crying. Yeah, Bove crying. Mourinho hugging Dybala. It's those images which, I don't know, make you sad, because these players deserve more. But yeah, other than that, I'll catch you soon. Smash all of the things below. Simon, the moment I found out Anthony Taylor was the ref, I literally knew we would lose, because the guy always goes against Jose since Moo was in England. Yeah, look, we've lost. There's nothing we can do about it. And yeah, I will catch you very, very soon. Simon?